And so Edward Tulane became Susanna. Nellie sewed several outfits for him.
Oh, Susanna.
A pink dress with ruffles for special occasions, a simple shift fashioned out of a flower-covered cloth for everyday use, and a long white gown made of cotton for Edward to sleep in.
Oh, Edward.
In addition, she remade his ears, stripping them of the few pieces of fur that remained, and designed him a new pair. "Oh," she told him when she was done, "you look lovely."
Oh, Edward.
He was horrified at first. He was, after all, a boy rabbit. He did not want to be dressed as a girl. And the outfits, even the special occasion dresses,
Oh, gosh.
were so simple, so plain. They lacked the elegance and artistry of real clothes. But then Edward remembered lying on the ocean floor, a muck in his face, the stars so far away, and he said to himself, "What difference does it make, really? Wearing a dress won't hurt me."
Ooh,
Besides,
Edward's growing
like-
up a little.
Well, yeah, you have a traumatic experience and you count your
get,
blessings.
You get stuck at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
For 2 years.
In
you're
a
stuck
muck.
at the bottom of the ocean in the muck, Travis. I'll have to catch you up. Don't worry, I'll catch you up.
Besides, life in the little green house with the fisherman and his wife was sweet. Nellie loved to bake, and so she spent her day in the kitchen. She put Edward on the counter and leaned him up against the floor canister and arranged his dress around his knees. She bent his ears so that he could hear well. And then she set to work, kneading dough for bread and rolling out dough for cookies and pies. The kitchen soon filled with the smell of baking bread and with the sweet smell of cinnamon and sugar and cloves. The windows steamed up, and while Nellie worked, she talked. She told Edward about her children, her daughter Loli, who was a secretary, and her boys, Ralph, who was in the army, and Raymond, who had died of pneumonia when he was only 5 years old.
Oh.
"He drowned inside of himself," said Nellie. "It's a horrible, terrible thing.
Oh.
The worst thing to watch somebody you love die right in front of you and not be able to do nothing about it. I dream about him most nights," she said. Nellie wiped at her tears in the back of her hands. She smiled at Edward. "I suppose you think I'm daft talking to a toy, but it seems to me that you are really listening, Susanna." And Edward was surprised to discover that he was listening. Before, when Abilene talked to him, everything had seemed so boring, so pointless. But now, the stories Nellie told struck him as to the most important thing in the world, and he listened as if his life depended on what she said. It made him wonder if some of the muck from the ocean floor had gotten inside his china head and damaged him somehow. In the evening, Lawrence came home from the sea, and there was dinner, and Edward sat at the table, and the fisherman and his wife. He sat in an old wooden high chair, and while at first he was mortified, a high chair, after all, was a chair designed for babies, not for elegant rabbits. He soon became used to it. He liked being up high, looking out over the table instead of staring at the tablecloth he had at the Tulane household. He liked feeling this like a part of things. Every night after dinner, Lawrence said that he thought he would go out and get some fresh air, and that maybe Susanna would like to come with him. He placed Edward on his shoulder, and he had that first night when he walked him through town, bringing him home to Nellie. They went outside, and Lawrence lit his pipe and held Edward there on his shoulder. As if the night was clear, Lawrence said the names of the constellations one at a time, pointing at them with the stem of his pipe. Edward loved looking up at the stars, and he loved the sound of the constellation names. They were sweet in his ears. Sometimes, though, staring up at the night sky, Edward remembered Grandma, saw her dark and glowing eyes, and a chill would go right through him. Warthogs, he would think. Witches. But Nellie, before she put him to bed each night, sang Edward a lullaby, a song about a mockingbird that did not sing and a diamond ring that would not shine. And the sound of Nellie's voice soothed the rabbit, and he forgot about Grandma. Life for a very long time was sweet again. And then Lawrence and Nellie's daughter came home for a visit. Chapter 10.
Oh, I think we're gonna stop there though.
Okay.